We're gonna talk about your inner genius in this week's video. Everyone's got unique abilities, unique superpowers. Think of yourself as a superhero from the Avengers, because that's what you are when it comes to the professional world. You have special abilities, and with great power comes great responsibility. So that being said, I'm gonna introduce, it's called the working genius. We're excited for the working genius. And I do believe that this ties directly into why some people might be more prone to like burnout or not achieving on specific goals or targets that they've set out for themselves, or even goals and vision that they might have for themselves, and they might think to themselves, why can't I hit this? Why can't I accomplish this? And it might just be that you might be working in what is called your working competency or your working frustration, not your working genius. And that might be what's causing you to be held back from tapping in to what's truly possible, your true potential. By the way, if you're more interested in hearing about this working genius, feel free to check it out. The book itself by Patrick Lencioni is The 6 Types of Working Genius, a better way to understand your gifts, your frustration, and your team. And there is oh my gosh, they just let out a free personality test. That's really freaking cool. So right here, Google states, Patrick Lencioni's The 6 Types of Working Genius argues that there are 6 distinct types of working genius or intelligence, and that all successful teams consist of members each possessing a combination of each type. By properly identifying what traits your team members have, you can maximize both productivity and individual fulfillment. Ideally, if you have a team that has each of these different types, you are like the dream team. You are the Avengers of your company. Now, what tends to sometimes happen is that you might hire all of the folks that are the same genius as you, but lacking one of the other 5 or 4 other types that we have. And so this is overall good information for you to know, one, a little bit more about yourself, self-discovery, but then also how to build a really good team that can essentially complement a lot of your competencies and frustrations, but it's ultimately tied to you. When it comes to, first off, the genius of wonderment. So these are the people that, if there is ever a situation, are constantly thinking about, gee, I wonder if there is a better way of doing this. I wonder if there's a better way of navigating this situation or this challenge. So wondering is something that happens to be a bit of a genius. Some people might think, oh, so-and-so has always got their head up, in the clouds, daydreaming about XYZ potential, but in reality, they might be tapping into that sense of wonderment that right now isn't the best way of navigating this. There's got to be other alternatives. So they're usually the ones that are typically tapping into what ways can we make this a little bit more efficient. Next, you've got the genius of invention. So what's really cool about these folk is that if there is a set problem, they're usually really good about brainstorming and thinking outside the box. So you might be around these people that love to whiteboard. So you might say, oh my gosh, like I've got a vision, but I just don't know what to do with it. They're the ones that are gonna whip out a piece of paper and be like, all right, let's think through this and figure it out together. And they're really good about just starting with a blank canvas. I suck at that. If I see a blank whiteboard and I'm expected to like start the brainstorming, crowdsourcing process, I'm like, oh my gosh. So we'll talk a little bit about that. It's not one of my working geniuses, I'll tell you that. So these are people that are excellent about just thinking and pulling from just different ideas and just kind of thinking in what ways we can, can we push this forward. Next, you've got the genius of discernment. So after enter Avenger number 1, Genius of Wonderment says, hey, I feel like there's got to be a better way of optimizing this set process that we have in place. Then Avenger number 2, the inventor, comes in and goes, absolutely, I've got 4 different ideas that I think can really help out with solving for this. Now, Avenger number 3, Mr. Discernment or Mrs. Discernment, comes in and goes, okay, out of these 3 or 4 different ideas, my gut's telling me that number 3 is the way to go, and here is why. Or there might not necessarily be a why. They might just think of pattern recognition and be like, that one right there, that's the winner chicken dinner. And they're really cool because I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that as one of my working geniuses, to just kind of look at everything and just have like an instinct towards that is the direction or going this direction and here's why. And then we've got Avenger number 4, the galvanizer. So the moment that the team has identified, okay, we're gonna go with this avenue, this solution, the galvanizer comes in and goes, all right, cool, let's make it happen. So they're the ones that are pushing the idea forward. This happens to be one of my geniuses. And so let's say my VP of business development says, hey Bree, this is a great idea. Here's why I need you to push it forward. I'm in charge of taking this concept and selling the individuals on my team on why we should do this concept, which follows by the next superhero, which is Captain Enablement. And so Captain Enablement, I just suddenly am running with this superhero trend because in my mind it makes sense. But Captain Enablement is in charge of, after they receive the order, right? I now am encouraging other people and giving them words of wisdom, of encouragement, of affirmation that they're doing a phenomenal job implementing it. So they're the ones that are kind of just like making sure they're steering the ship of this new idea that we're putting forth. And then last but not least, one of my favorite superheroes is the superhero of the gift of tenacity. And this genius in itself, I think, is truly the MVP. They're the ones that they get this magnificent idea. You know, they're the quarterback essentially of making it freaking happen. And the gift of tenacity is the one that gets it over the finish line. They're the ones that that cross it over and they make it happen at all cost. Meaning they get their inner kick, their inner excitement, their inner fulfillment from actually seeing it come to fruition. So as you can see, each of these superheroes that have inner geniuses are all fulfilled by different things. One is fulfilled by just this idea of dreaming and wonderment. This other superhero is fulfilled by inventing net new ideas. This next one is fulfilled by being able to just decipher through their superpower which option they should go with by their gut. This other one gets fulfilled by actually making it happen and starting the process of getting this pushed off to the right people. The next one is getting fulfilled by making someone feel incredible and motivated and inspired. And then the other one is motivated by just seeing it come to fruition. They're just like, as long as this gets over the finish line and we make this happen, that is truly like what makes me, you know, tick and what makes me very excited. And so each of these geniuses are really cool, as you can see, because then once you take the test, you could identify, okay, these are my superpowers.